Going to continue with our Women's Day discussions and also highlighting the plight of various women who, of course, continue to fly the flag high for South Africa at large. And a woman of stature in her own right, with a career spanning well over 3 decades, is Mam Lillian Dube, who speaks to us about Women's Month. Now, she was awarded the Order of Ikamanga in silver by the President of South Africa for a contribution to the performing arts and raising awareness of women's health issues through storytelling. In 2007, she survived a serious battle with breast cancer. Mam Lillian Dube speaks to us about the significance of the day celebrated on the 9th of August, as well as the need to elevate women to prominent positions within the creative arts in particular. Well, Mam Lillian Dube, a very good morning. Thank you very much for joining us here on Weekend Dawn. Yeah, I'm just looking at the evolution of you within South Africa's entertainment industry, growing up, watching you, obviously seeing you flourish from Sister Bettina. I remember in Soul City when I was much younger, obviously also garnering some roles in Generations. You know, I'm looking at the characters that you've portrayed over the years, and perhaps the strong matriarch, powerful characters that you've portrayed over the years. What life lessons have you taken and incorporated into your own personal life, you know, when you look at those characteristics that you portrayed?
To me, good morning, Wanaka, Ikamala Makosigas Malibongwe. Happy Women's Month. Can you hear me?
Yes, Mam Lillian Dube, thank you so much. Happy Women's Month to you too. I was just saying that obviously looking at your career over the years, the characters that you've played, which you know, they've got that very strong, powerful presence, the matriarch that you portray, and also very humorous and relatable. I wanted to know, from some of the characteristics you portrayed in your characters, how have you incorporated it into your personal life over the years?
Wonderful. Listen, my sweetheart, Sister Bettina, and I wish you had played that song for me. Soul City was my favorite because I love Lifting as I Rise, especially about women's health issues and also social issues. So really, for me, Soul City, I was typecast.
And Mom, speaking of lifting other people through your career and uplifting those along the way, we've seen the evolution of South Africa's entertainment industry at large. I mean, looking at the strides that have taken, but also the challenges in the industry. How do you think we are going to achieve the feat of getting more women to be represented within the creative arts industry at a time such as COVID-19, and also as the world demands, you know, more equal inclusivity and representation for women?
To me, Wanaka, it's been very hard for women even before COVID-19, like you say. But you are a good example of what women can achieve. You've done it all. And for anybody, women or men, whoever wants to do anything, if you really want to, you will achieve it. Never mind the obstacles, because they will always be there. But today, I can proudly tell you that we've got women who are directors, who are the HODs, who've done anything that they wanted, because things are a bit better now. When I started, it was a men's world.
Yes. And Mom, Lillian, you're looking at the strides that have been taken and also highlighting some of the successes we've achieved. I mean, on the 9th of August, we are going to be celebrating Women's Day in the country. I wanted to know from you, what does the day mean for you? What does this month mean for you as a woman? Who are some of those women that you look up to?
You know what, Wanaka? I wasn't there in 1956. I was young myself. But whenever I think of those women, it wasn't only black women. It was women, because women are really powerful. Our only problem is that we always lay our lives down for other people to work on us, because we are nurturers, we are protectors, we are lovers, we are mothers, we are givers. we are naturalized, we are everything. But we forget that we come first. That is why it is. That is why it is easy for men to walk all over us, when in fact we are stronger than them.
Yes, Mal, and looking at the narratives that have to be changed, that have been changing over the years, I wanted to look at what are some of the activities that you've been up to. I mean, earlier on we spoke about how you've been instrumental in influencing so many and assisting so many in the industry. I mean, you've got your casting agency. You're also really active in the industry to date as well. What are some of those activities that you're doing in your career as a highlight for women at large?
My darling, when I started my own casting agency, it is because wherever I went, people couldn't understand how I could still be speaking to them and then be on TV. That motivated me to start my own casting agency, which I stopped when I started my own production company. But I am sorry to say the laws that govern us, when they give you a production to do, it is not about empowerment. In fact, they disempower you. They make sure that you don't make profit. So when you say you're empowering someone and not giving them the tools and wanting every cent, they are the cause of people lying, inflating prices because you are not allowed to make profit.
Okay, so
I'm asking myself, if we really say you're empowering me, but I must also next year coming begging again, why don't you empower me, nurture me, so that I don't come back to you?
So, Mam Lillian, looking at the biggest challenges that perhaps lie ahead for the next generation of women that's to come, what do you think, in lieu of what you're saying, are some of the biggest challenges that the women and girl child will face in the industry?
Hey, the old age, just because I don't see you, I don't hear you.
Okay, Mam Lillian, I'm going to repeat the question to you. It's okay. You were speaking about how the industry... you were speaking about how the industry disempowers, some of the practitioners and doesn't always assist them fully. So I wanted to know, in your opinion, what is the biggest challenge that the generation who's set to come after you is going to have to face in the industry?
Challenging the generation, the next woman.
Sweetheart, I think we are getting there slowly but surely. Because today's women, I've seen them really, really go exactly for what they want. And they've been to school, unlike some of us, like me. I just ventured into everything without any background, but just because I wanted to do it. You'll be surprised when I tell you that when I was running my own casting agency, I didn't even know what a fax machine was. So I remember someone saying to me, I must give them my fax number. I said, excuse me, I've got to run, I'll call you back. And then I phoned a friend of mine and said, what is the fax number?
and obviously...
I didn't have a fax machine to start with.
And obviously...
And then he told me what it was. So I came back and phoned the production company to say, no, I don't have a fax number, but I can use my friends. I'm trying to say... I didn't have the tools, except I had the heart and the passion. For instance, there was an advert that was done, Bull Brand. Most of those children came from my own agency. But because I knew nothing, when I signed their contracts, which I shouldn't have done in the first place, I signed the contracts for all those children. I am telling you, to me, Wanaka, that advert played until those young boys were married men without getting any royalties. They took advantage of the fact that I signed without reading the small print. So you see, that is not empowering. But I learned my lesson.
And I guess as we continue to learn our lessons, this is why we're still alive. I wanted to conclude this conversation, Mam Lillian Dube, by just looking at what your favorite thing is about being a woman in South Africa and the world today.
Sweetheart, can you imagine how I felt when Zozibini came out Miss World, a girl from Liezle.
Yes.
And funny enough, this morning I was thinking of Brenda Fassie and thinking that woman was ahead of her time.
And also,
other things came, but otherwise, that girl was a visionary. She knew we were going to have a black president. She always said, confirm. And her music and her stage presence and all that, but other things came. But there are so many lessons you can learn from that.
And obviously the industry has also taken a knock. We've seen the loss of lives of some of the veteran actresses who've also paved the way, including Mary Twala and also Candy Malloy, who's also recently passed away. I mean, just in conclusion, what do you think they represented for the industry?
You know, when you speak about Mary Twala, you bring in tears to my eyes, because all people know is that she was this famous, able actress and Somizi's mother. But like all women, she went through all women issues, raising children, raising a child who was not disabled child, and having to wake up at 4, going to work like everybody else. She didn't have the glamorous life that you think there is. She was a mother, a woman who sacrificed, who protected until her death. And Candy as well. What a great lady.
Mam Lillian Dube, I'm going to have to leave the conversation there, but it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you this morning. Thank you for sharing your story, your success story. Thank you for inspiring us. Happy Women's Day. All right, of course, that was our Women's Month feature. Again, we'll be featuring prominent women in South Africa who continue to fly the flag high. Mam Lillian Dube was chatting to us about Women's Month, a career which spans well over 3 decades old, and of course, also surviving breast cancer and being a woman in the arts industry.